All right, you guys, so welcome back to the Sincerely Chronicles podcast. Oh my freaking God. You guys don't even know, you don't even understand. So I took a little break, right? I took a little break, like a little intermission. And I've been like planning. First off, this is the very first podcast that I am recording live for YouTube. And I felt like it was super duper important because I think that it just kind of highlights it just kind of goes with the theme. It goes with the theme of the season, and the season is healing. If you haven't been keeping up with the YouTube, or I'm sorry, not the YouTube, but if you haven't been keeping up with the Sincerely Chronicles Instagram page, and then also my TikTok, I have definitely been dropping some little bombs, boom, 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 here and there. Just kind of hinting to where we were going to be going with the podcast. And yeah, this is Sincerely a Healing Mommy. What brought about this like journey, this phase? Man, I'm gonna tell y'all a lot, a whole freaking lot, but it's gonna be right after this sponsored segment. So obviously YouTube, you're not going to get the sponsored segment. However, because I am still recording via Anchor, which is what I utilize for my podcast, y'all just finna get the everything. So yeah, this is like how I literally record my podcast. And I'm literally in my living room on the couch because I'm not like the people who have like a whole fancy setup. Like, if you follow me on YouTube already, then you know, like, I've honestly been through so much since I left my child's father, and moving out on my own, I didn't really have the luxury of like having that much space and stuff like that. So I really don't have a lot. It's just me in my living room, and I'm up at an ungodly ass hour. You don't even want to know what time it is, but I'm about to tell y'all anyways, because it's late or it's early, one or the other, whatever you want to call it. All right, you guys, so I am back after that sponsored segment. Hope you enjoyed. But so first off, I want to start by saying, like, I'm so excited to be recording this and putting it on YouTube. Is a huge step for me. Because I mean, I think that overall I've just had a lot of insecurities about myself, about my podcast, about, you know, whether or not I'm doing the right thing. Is this really helping people? Are people listening? Like, are people even gonna tune in? Are they? I don't know, but I'm about to find out because this is the first episode, and I really just want to see how it does, and I really want to start getting people on, and I want to start, like, I just want it to be bigger and better, bigger and better, better and bigger. What else can I say? But nevertheless, you guys, let's get into the topic of letting go. First off, I want to start by saying, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I am recording right now because, for one, Amina is asleep. Last night she was just up all night. Like, yes, you know me, single mom in it. And I know she's gonna wake up at about could be 6 o'clock. Shoot, she could wake up at 5:30. To be honest, you just never really know with her. So I just felt like, okay, let me go ahead and get this out the way, right? Okay. So, letting go. This topic, I feel like, is huge because a lot of people think that letting go is easy. No, actually, I'm not going to say that. A lot of people don't think that letting go is easy. I think that a lot of people depend on where you are in your relationship, your situation, or whatever it is. That kind of measures how you're able to let go. But no one really talks about the journey of letting go. So as we know, and if we don't know, if you're new here, I am a single mom. I was with my child's father for 7 years. Like, yeah. He took all my 20s because I literally met him when I was like 20, 21 years old. And I mean, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, I was not even in that deep, y'all. Like, I definitely was not as in love as he was. And he would say that too. Like, he just felt like, oh, I didn't feel the same way about him that he felt about me. And I kind of just didn't get it. I just kind of felt like, boy, you just talking, because I feel like at that stage, men just be saying anything, right? Like, they just be saying anything, and I just didn't believe him. But I quickly realized, like, oh my God, this man is like, he loves me. Like, he's really head over heels, y'all. Yes. And it came, you know, that feeling, that love, that I want to be around you all the time. I'm always thinking about you. Like, it came, not when it came for him, but it eventually did. And you know what? That was kind of a fear for me. It was like, oh, I don't want to be more into him than he is me, or I don't want to get hurt because I'm that into him, blah, blah, blah. After about 5 years in, I started to feel differently. I started to feel differently about our relationship because I did not feel like that same person that I fell in love with was the same person that I was receiving. And you know, that has a lot to do with turmoil and a lot of things that people go through in relationships. And I think that people inadvertently grow apart. I do think that's a real thing. People really do grow apart. And that can happen in the form of there being issues in the relationship. So maybe finance problems, maybe infidelity, you know, maybe lying, and, you know, different things like that. But then there are also those issues of, you know, maybe romance. And, you know, a lot of times the person you meet, you're at one stage in your life, and as time progresses, you move to another stage in your life. I personally believe that as time progressed, I moved to one stage in my life and we were no longer on the same page. And it's very possible that we were never on the same page. Be mindful of that. When you get into a relationship with someone, it's important to ask, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? You know, where do you want things to go? How can we build as a unit? How can we grow together? What are you doing now that is going to help me? Or, you know, what can I do to help you? When you don't have those conversations, later on down the line, you're going to realize that there is a problem. And what that problem is that you're going to progress at different levels, different speeds, and grow apart. And that's what happened to me. There were all of these things that I wanted. There were all of these goals that I wanted to reach. There were, I mean, something as simple as having kids. I found myself at the end of our relationship asking, like, do you even want to have a kid with me? Because some years ago you said that you did, but now we done been together for this many years and it hasn't happened. Do you want to get married? Do you want to buy another house? Like, do you want to upgrade your life? Do you want to keep working? And I got to a point where I think year 6, I was just kind of like, I don't think that we're going in the same direction. And for me, it was easier to let go. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, what? See, for women, for some women, a lot of times, like, we can endure a lot, right? You know, most of us have been cheated on. You feel me? Most of us have been lied to. You know what I'm saying? Most of us have dealt with a man having money, then not having money, or not having money and then having money. And for some reason, those tangible things, it's easier for us to get over them. It's easier for us to let go of the pain that they caused us and the hurt that they caused us, rather than move on. The next time, or not even the next time, how come when you find out that your man is cheating, how come you can get over that? How come sometimes it only takes a couple hours, a couple days, a few I'm sorry's, maybe some flowers, maybe nothing, And we get over that. But when we know we've been done wrong and we know that it's not going to change, we can't let go. Because I want to talk about it. A huge part of letting go for me was realizing what I deserved, trying to figure out what I wanted. And to be honest, what allowed me to let go was having my baby. Having my baby literally showed me my physical worth. Y'all didn't get that. Having my baby showed me my worth. My baby literally allowed me to let go of the pain, to let go of the hurt, to let go of the confusion, to let go of the lies, to let go of the cheating, to let go of the financial hardship, to let go of the confusion, to let go of the no romance, to let go of the this man ain't finna work for me, this man don't want me. My child allowed me to see all of that. And none of that is to break my child's father down at all, because I do think that he has the potential to be a great man. Unfortunately, just not for me. There were things that I wanted at that time in those spans of years that he could not give to me. And it did not make any sense for me to stay and continue to receive less than what I deserved. It's a lot of you women who need to hear that, because why are you staying in situations that are less than what you deserve, continuing to break yourself down, and then you're not even able to be built back up? Or by the time you meet the next person, you're so broken down that they can't even penetrate how to properly love you, how to properly care for you. It's because you're not letting go. So let's talk about it. Letting go for me it took a series of things. There's letting go emotionally, and there's letting go physically. And if I'm being honest, there's a psychological hold as well. Mentally, it took a while. Mentally, I was letting go of my relationship for about 2.5 years, maybe 3. And at this time, I was still in the relationship. So I had already taken into consideration that I was unhappy, that things needed to change, and that I was ready to let go. However, for about 2.5 years, I contemplated what that was going to look like. Ain't that crazy? Like, when you think about it, for 2 years, I was trying to mentally let this man go. It didn't really dawn on me until I went out and bought a building. I knew I was pregnant when we conceived. I waited 6 weeks because I was scared to take the test, because I didn't believe it. Because for all those years we were together, I had never gotten pregnant. So I was just like, what are the odds that I'm gearing up to leave? I mean, I was looking at properties. He had no idea that I was leaving. He thought that I was growing, because that's the dream that I sold him. I want to grow. I thought maybe if I got a property that this would somehow motivate him to want more, because I was showing him that I wanted more and that I was taking myself serious. The day I put an offer in on a building that I like, I found out that I was pregnant. And at that point, I was like, okay, this is the sign that I needed. This is the sign that I needed. I need to leave. I need to grow on my own. I have to let go. It's time. 3 months later, I moved out of the house and I moved into my property. And it felt good, but I was lonely. I was extremely lonely, because I had been used to being with this man for several years, and this is all that I knew. And I tried. I I tried to come up with a schedule. You know, maybe if we just need a space apart, maybe he would see that he can do more and he could get me back, and, you know, things would be okay. I had a friend who constantly told me, Shanice, you need therapy. Shanice, you need therapy. You really need to think about getting into therapy. And at the time, I was fighting it. I don't need no therapy. What I need therapy for? Therapy ain't gonna help me. I don't need to talk to nobody about my problems. I'm a journal. Actually, I said I'm a podcast. That was going to be my therapy. So when I did start my podcast, it was a personal journal, like a diary. And I was basically trying to work through my problems by talking to people that I don't know. Ain't that crazy? No, for real. And it didn't help, because after being out of the household for maybe a total of 2 months, I went right back. And that's when I knew, like, that I couldn't mentally let go. Like, I still wasn't ready yet, because mentally I was trying to let go, and I brought in the physical by removing myself from that situation, and then physically I could not let go because I went back. But let me tell you how God works. I went back and nothing changed. Everything stayed exactly the same. Although he knew why I was leaving and that I was unhappy, his actions did not change. His mindset did not change. Everything stayed the same. If that was not a sign, I don't know what was. I had my child, and a few months later, I officially moved out. The day that I moved out, my child's father slept. He slept in his room. I'm saying his room because we have been sleeping in separate rooms for 2.5 years, which is why I knew that it was time for me to let go, right? We had been sleeping in separate rooms, so he was asleep in another room, and I moved out. I mean, I took apart a bed, and I moved mattresses, and I did all of this. And at that point, I was like, okay, this is for real. I've really let go. It's over. No, it wasn't, because psychologically I was still there. I still felt like there was a possibility that he could change. And that was the problem, y'all. I felt like he should change. Why should he change if he doesn't see anything wrong? At the end of the day, he felt like he loved me. He was doing everything that he needed to do. He had a job. Did he at that time? Did he? Well, when I was pregnant, he didn't. But after I had the baby, I think he had got a job. Or he had got a job right before I had a baby. Whatever. But my point being is, he didn't see anything wrong. I was the one who had the problem. And although I had vocalized my problem to him, it was never going to change, because he wasn't at the same space with me with that problem. And so I got a therapist. Y'all, I got a therapist, and to be honest, I got the therapist to help me co-parent. I needed and I wanted coping skills to help me co-parent, right? Because I can admit now that I still had not let go. So as angry and as frustrated as I was, and even though I had physically removed myself from his space, I still hadn't let go. And the crazy thing is, what I hadn't let go of was I guess you can call it like the everyday remnants, like our being together was so familiar that being alone was unfamiliar. I didn't know how to operate, you know what I'm saying? I was so used to, okay, he's gonna get up, he's gonna go to work, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna get dressed, I'm gonna go to work, we're gonna come home, I'm gonna cook dinner, I'm gonna cook 2 meals, he's not gonna eat this, I'm gonna eat that. I had gotten so used to all of that I didn't know life without it. It was uncomfortable for me. And I missed that dysfunction. you know? Nevertheless, I got this therapist, and somehow I started to unravel issues that deep down I knew I had, but I had no idea they were affecting me on this level, that it was stopping me from being able to let go of this relationship. So in the therapy, I found that I have abandonment issues, right? So these abandonment issues, they stem very deep. And I don't want to feel abandoned. I don't want to feel left behind, unwanted, uncared for, unloved. And because of that, I am able to endure a lot to protect myself from feeling those re-traumatizing emotions. So in therapy, I had to learn and realize that you can cut off a certain behavior or a certain situation without allowing yourself to feel re-traumatized or abandoned. I'm not abandoning him or the relationship because I'm fed up or because I know that I deserve more. Instead, I am allowing us both to peacefully move into a different mind space to grow and find the people that we actually deserve, right? Now, at the time, I did not understand that. I just kind of felt like, I was giving up, which I think is what a lot of women tell themselves, if you don't do this, 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 and this, or if he doesn't do this, 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 and that, then he's giving up. And to be honest, our society has taught us that too. I recently saw like a clip from, I think like a podcast or something that Michelle Obama was on, and she was saying that young people, they don't know how to work, or for relationships they just give up, they just throw in the towel. And to be honest, I felt two ways. I felt insulted because I said, I'm not really sure what she dealt with in her relationship with our wonderful president, Obama, Mr. Barack, but y'all married. Why should I be putting the same kind of energy into a man that hasn't married me that you're putting into your husband? Had I been married, maybe I would have tried to do everything that I could have to save or fix my relationship. But to be honest, now day and ages, we just dating. Like we really just kicking it, and we making it more serious than it needs to be when we're not physically married. If you're not going to marry me, but you can keep getting me pregnant, or you can keep on cheating on me, or we can live together and I can cook for you, like, no, that just does not work for me. And that's kind of when I felt like it was time for me to go, because I'm putting all of my energy into you, and you can't even do something as simple as make me feel secure as your woman so that I feel like all of this energy is going somewhere. Michelle had all of the right to try everything that she felt like she needed to do and keep working as hard as she needed to work for her marriage. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that for a nigga that's not really mine. He's still for the streets. And I mean, you could be married and for the streets. That's a personal choice. But I would rather know, like, no, this is mine. This is what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting for my marriage. I'm fighting for my family. I wasn't fighting for nothing. I was fighting for a baby daddy. And then he wasn't even my baby daddy at that time. He was just my boyfriend. And I had been fighting. I had been putting in the work. I'm not finna keep doing that. And it's not really going anywhere. To be honest, sometimes I feel like, did I pressure you into having a child? Was that even something that you really wanted to do? Think to yourselves, women. Before you're at the point where you're ready to let go, or even once you have let go, start to think about some of the actions that took place, some of the things that you did. Was it for you or was it for them? Because most of the time it's for them, and somehow we're making ourselves think that it's for us. Now, when it comes to the other end of the spectrum, right? Because I said I felt two ways about what Michelle said. First, I felt like she was crazy. On the other end, I completely understand where she's going with this. If you decide to be in a relationship, you should put everything that you can into maintaining, and trying to keep that together, trying to figure out how you can grow, trying to figure out how you can do better, trying to figure out how you can love each other more. Like, you should. And I truly do believe in that when it's worth it. But when it's time to let go, there's no such thing as, oh, you just letting go so easily when someone else is not putting in the exact same fight. See, my issue was I was fighting. I was going hard. I was trying to come up with solutions. I was trying to do everything that I could to save it. And he wasn't. So it was time to let go. I will be honest. A few months after I finally moved out, and I had been living on my own, me and Amina, there was a day where my child's father came over to visit Amina, and I want to say I was sick. Like, I don't know, I had like a stomach bug or something like that, and I think he stayed the night. He slept on the couch. However, in the morning, I remember waking up and calling for him, asking him to lay in my bed to cuddle. And when he did, he laid down, we cuddled. I didn't feel nothing. I didn't feel like an urge to be intimate. I honestly probably felt like uncomfortable. Like, why am I doing this? This feels weird. And that's when I knew that it was over. That I had let go, and I was happy with that. And now things still aren't the best. And I think that's because I've let go and he hasn't. And I do hope that he is able to let me go. But what I don't understand is, how is it that men can put you through so much, and then you ask them over and over and over for these what you think are small things, call, text, pay attention to me, take me out, do nice things for me. It doesn't have to be every day, but every once in a while. Why can't they do those things when you need them? Instead, they wait until you're gone and you no longer want them, or you can get them from someone else, right? I'm not sure. I don't know if I'll ever really get that answer. I do hope that at some point I could talk about it with somebody. But it's just kind of crazy. On another note, but the same topic, I think something that I think is interesting is that when you're in longer situations like that, for me, I've noticed that it's just brought a lot of different thoughts into my mind. And now that I'm not gonna say I've been dating again, and it took me a while. My relationship with my ex was probably over like 2 years before I physically left. And even when we were still like together under the same roof, before I had my baby, we had broken up. But I still didn't really think of myself as single, although I was, and I didn't feel like it was appropriate to be dating because I was still living in his house. So it took me a while to like finally date, but recently I have been dating. And you know what I have noticed? When it comes time to letting go, it's still a trigger for me. And I think that's like the great thing about therapy, because you just keep learning all of these new things about yourself and about the people that you're dealing with, but really about yourself and how you can like better figure things out. Or I don't even know how to explain it, but I feel so bad because I feel like I'm whispering. but it's because, like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes ago I did hear Amina cry. So it's like I don't want to wake her up, but at the same time, like, I really want to get this out. But you guys, like, the space that I'm in now, I'm still not secure. I'm still not secure. You know, if I'm being completely honest, I'm still not secure in my letting go journey. Because as a person who is on my healing journey, I still have so many questions, and I think that I'm still in a space of trying different things to try and figure out what best works for me. And letting go is still something that I think that's an ongoing process. You know what I'm saying? Because even where I am now, I feel like I have a lot of growing to do. There's just so much growing and learning that I have to do in order to be better for myself and for my child. But what I can say is be really patient with yourself, and know that healing doesn't happen overnight. It is a process, and it doesn't get any easier. I do think that right now I'm going through a process of letting go, and to be honest, it's almost harder than letting go of my ex. And I think that is because sometimes it's just unbelievable. And this is all kinds of relationships, family, friends, significant others. It's hard for us as people to let anything go, but you have to realize that if you don't let go, you could be causing yourself more stress, more pain, more confusion, you know what I'm saying, more heartbreak. So what would you rather? Would you rather go through all of those things, be hurt, be upset, be angry, you know, or be alone? A lot of people are very afraid of being alone, but you're not really alone, are you? Like, are you? Like, right now, I'm not really alone. I have my daughter. I have friends. I have family. We just choose to ostracize ourselves when we get into these situations where we don't really know where to go because we want a specific thing. So for the people, because I'm not going to say women because there's men too, but for the people who are afraid to leave relationships or situationships or friendships because they have a fear that they're going to be alone. And a lot of you guys don't want to admit it, that really the fear of putting an end to allowing someone to treat you less than what you deserve is because you have a fear of being alone. You have to stop being afraid. You just have to, because it's like it's something that you can't control. You're trying to control it by sticking it out, staying in a situation that isn't healthy for you, you know, something that's not even going to work out for you. But in reality, you can't control it. Whether you leave or they leave, at some point, God is going to send you a sign, and you all will no longer serve. You all will no longer serve a purpose in each other's domain. It took me a while to realize that, but once I did, things got better. Things got easier. It's still hard, you know, doing pickups and drop-offs, and, you know, even having conversations about things that are needed or things that are wanted. And, you know, the holidays are coming up, but I promise you the payoff is much better. As soon as I relinquished my child's father from my life, I was introduced to a human that has completely gave me a new way of seeing men. And knowing that they aren't all the same, it's not all bad. Um, and I love that for me. Like, no cap, I genuinely love that for me. And I'm not gonna say like, oh, it's perfect, because I'm still learning a lot about myself and I'm still healing. So I can be honest and say I'm not all the way there with that person, but I'm ready to see what life has in store for me. And I hope that if you are watching this or listening to this, that you also are opening yourself up to healing and allowing yourself to be open to whatever is next. That's it. Just be open to it. Don't run, don't hide. But the same way you're open to allowing the same person or people to treat you less than, be open to someone or multiple people treating you better than you deserve, giving you a world that you never could have imagined. And if all else fails, know that you will never let you down. Because one thing I've learned is it doesn't matter what happens next. I got me. I got me, and I'm not gonna let anything terribly bad happen to me. No matter how many situations I go through and they don't seem, like the best, and I'm not the happiest, and maybe I'm not getting what I want, you know what I'm saying? I'm still alive, I'm still breathing, I'm still being a mother to my child, and I'm still here. So just remember, you're still here, and your journey will continue as long as you allow it. But just trust the process. Some of y'all get a therapist. Actually, a lot of y'all get a therapist. I don't know why us black people is against therapy, but a lot of us is. But whether you're black or not, get you a therapist. Because a lot of times it's not even about like what you actually think you're going through. It's some other stuff that's buried deep inside of you that needs to be arisen, be awoken, and needs to be addressed. So for now, this is your girl Shanice signing off as Sincerely a Healing Mommy. Bye. Until next time. Y'all know what I should start doing? I should start doing like some, I don't know, almost like some after the podcast commentaries. Like I don't even know what that would look like, but I feel like it could be cool. I don't know. Y'all have to let me know, because there's a lot of things that I want to do differently, and I'm just super excited for where this journey is going to take us. But until then, this is Sincerely a Healing Mommy, and I'm just so excited for the rest of the season with you guys. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, because this segment, it's about to get real, y'all. It's about to get real. It's about to get real deep, and I'm just excited to share it with you guys.